Queen Vera of the Callian Empire reclined upon her crystalline throne, her 4 arms draped elegantly over the armrests as she listened to the latest reports from her scouts. The massive chamber echoed with the clicking of her advisor's claws. Against the polished floor, their insectoid forms bowing low before their sovereign. "My queen," chittered Commander Knox, his mandibles clicking nervously. "The Outer Rim colonies continue their rebellion. They speak of ... humans." Vera's laugh resonated through the hall like breaking glass. "Humans? Those mythical creatures from the old stories? Tell me, Commander, do they also claim to have dragons fighting alongside them?" The assembled court joined in her amusement, their laughter creating a cacophony of alien sounds. For generations, tales of humans had been told as bedtime stories to young Callians, stories of bipedal creatures who refused to surrender, who fought against impossible odds with nothing but primitive weapons and stubborn determination. They were fiction, entertainment, nothing more. "The rebels grow bolder, my queen," Knox continued, his voice trembling. "They destroyed our garrison on Theta Prime. The survivors claim they saw one of these ... humans leading the attack." "Enough!" Vera's voice cut through the air like a blade. "I will not have my commanders spreading fairy tales to excuse their incompetence. Double the patrols and crush this rebellion before it spreads further." 3 weeks later, alarms blared throughout the palace as emergency broadcasts flooded the communication networks. The impossible had happened. The rebels had broken through the outer defenses and landed on the capital world. But more shocking than their arrival was the footage streaming from the landing. Sights. Vera stared at the holographic display in disbelief. There, among the familiar forms of various rebel species, walked a creature she had never seen before. It stood on 2 legs, its pale skin exposed to the harsh atmosphere without protection. Most disturbing of all, it showed no fear as Callian soldiers surrounded it with weapons drawn. "Bring me this creature," she commanded, her voice barely above a whisper. "Alive." The capture took 6 hours and cost her forces dearly. The being fought with a ferocity that defied logic, using improvised weapons and tactics that seemed to anticipate every move her soldiers made. When they finally subdued it using stun nets, 17 of her elite guards lay motionless on the battlefield. Now, as Vera descended from her throne to face the prisoner, she felt something she had not experienced in centuries' uncertainty. The creature knelt in the center of the chamber, bound by energy shackles that flickered and sparked with each movement. Its head was raised, eyes fixed directly on hers, without the slightest hint of submission. "What are you?" she asked, her voice echoing in the sudden silence. The creature smiled, an expression that somehow managed to be both friendly and terrifying. "My name is Jake," it said in perfect Callian, its voice steady despite the obvious pain from its injuries. "I'm human." Vera circled the prisoner slowly, her 4 eyes studying every detail of its form. Impossible. Humans are legends, children's stories. Are we? Jake shifted slightly, the energy bonds crackling around him. Your people have been telling those stories for 300 years. Ever since the first Callian ship tried to enslave our colony on New Terra. The Queen froze. New Terra had been lost to equipment failure, according to the official records. An entire fleet had simply vanished, never to return. You lie. Do I? Jake's smile widened. What happened to Battle Group 7, Your Majesty, or the 3rd Expansion Fleet? How many of your ships have simply disappeared in what you call the empty sectors? Each name hit Vera like a physical blow. Those fleets had been lost over the past century, their disappearances attributed to various causes, stellar phenomena. Equipment failures, navigation errors. But now, looking into this creature's unwavering gaze, she began to understand the truth. "You've been hiding," she whispered, "watching, learning." "We've been preparing," Jake corrected, Your empire spans half the galaxy, but you've never bothered to map the spaces between your conquests. We've built cities in those dark places, raised generations who know nothing but resistance. And now, ... He paused, his expression growing serious. Now we're done hiding. As if summoned by his words, explosions bloomed across the horizon, visible through the chamber's massive windows. The rebel fleet had begun its assault on the capital's orbital defenses. But these were no ragtag pirates using stolen weapons. These ships moved with military precision, their tactics unknown to Callian's strategic doctrine. "What do you want?" Vera demanded, her composure finally cracking. "Freedom," Jake replied simply. "For every world you've conquered, every species you've enslaved. We're not here to destroy your people, just your empire. One species against the might of Callian? You're insane." Jake's laugh was soft, but somehow more chilling than her own had been. "One species? Your Majesty, we haven't been alone out there in the dark. Every race you've trampled, every world you've burned, their survivors found us. They learned from us. And together, we've become something your empire was never designed to fight." Through the windows, more explosions lit the sky as the orbital platforms fell one by one. In the distance, ships unlike any in the Callian fleet descended toward the surface, their hulls bearing the symbols of dozens of supposedly extinct civilizations. Vera stared at the human before her, finally understanding that the galaxy had changed, while she sat on her throne, believing in her own invincibility. The stories her people had told about humans were wrong in only one detail: they weren't legends from the past, they were promises of the future.